From the public statements made by Germany, we could note two alleged justifications for the continued support of Israel: that Israel is not violating the Genocide Convention and that it has a right to defend itself. With respect to the first point, we already pointed out the full knowledge of Germany has of what is happening in Palestine and the legal consequences of this knowledge, not only of the plausible violations of the Genocide Convention, but also of the norms of international humanitarian law. This is not a question that can be or need be addressed during these meetings that are inevitably short, since they are addressed basically to the issues involved in the request for provisional measures. In any case, Professor Pollet will have some further comments on this issue. With respect to the second point, the right of self-defense of Israel, which is also invoked by Germany for its continued assistance, some brief comments. The question of the right of Israel to defend itself is correct if it refers to the right to protect its people and not the right of self-defense contemplated in Article 51 of the United Nations Charter. But in the exercise of the right to protect its citizens, Israel, as occupying power, has assumed the duty to, and I quote from the regulations concerning the laws and customs of war and land, I quote, take all the measures in its power to restore and ensure as far as possible public order and safety while respecting, unless absolutely prevented, the laws in force in the country, end of quote. In practice, this implies that the police or general security powers the occupant has are similar to those of the state occupied. This right of protection is a right that frequently has to be exercised by states, even in difficult circumstances. But even in the most blatant situations of violence, the state has to respect the peremptory norms of international law. Mr. President, this is the bottom line. On whatever basis or definition a so-called right of self-defense is invoked, it can never serve to justify violations of the norms of the Genocide Convention or other norms of international humanitarian law. Surprisingly, Germany seems not to be able to differentiate between self-defense and genocide. Furthermore, Germany cannot invoke that Israel is in some state of necessity of its assistance for its defense and survival. In spite of its size and population, Israel is in the top 10% of the most militarily powerful countries in the world. Its per capita expense is more than 4 times larger than that of Germany. It is even higher than that of the United States. Its total yearly military expenditure, going back many years, is higher than that of its neighbors, Iran and Egypt, that have a population more than 10 times larger and immense territories in comparison with Israel. Mr. President, 2 considerations can also be briefly added on the question of the attacks that occurred on 7 October, which to our knowledge have not been taken into account by Germany. Firstly, the Palestinian people have the right to self-determination. That means that they have the right to take up arms against alien occupation and against racist regimes in the exercise of their right of self-determination, as enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and the Declaration of Principles of International Law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states in accordance with the Charter. This right must be exercised in line with the norms of international law as indicated in Article 1, Paragraph 4 of the 1977 General Protocol No. 1.